All right, welcome to another episode of The Love Experience. It's James Hill.
And I'm Dr. Amber Hill.
Who we got in the building today?
Mary Jenkins.
All right, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Jermaine Jenkins.
Okay. All right, so Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins, tell us how y'all guys met.
Go ahead, man.
What's your love story?
Or
What's your
tell
love
us,
story?
your story, and then let him fill in and see if
Okay.
it's
Because he might not
accurate.
tell the truth. You know,
he gonna
sometimes they don't
the
tell
truth.
the
He gonna
truth.
tell the truth.
Go ahead.
So I met Jermaine 6 months after my dad passed in 2016. It's like the summer 2016.
2016.
No, 2006. I'm sorry. Yes.
You
I'm
nervous. Go
confused.
ahead, man. I'm like, that's when Jordy was, you tripping. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Look, my mind's all over the place.
Oh,
But 2006.
Okay.
We met 2006 at I-Core. I live on the South End. Drove all the way up to Cleveland Avenue where, just because I was in collections at the time.
Mhm.
And went to go apply because I was like, okay, it's time for me to actually get up and, because I took 6 months off after my dad passed.
Come on, man.
And he was actually my boss.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He was actually my boss. And,
Did you have like attraction in the beginning or?
Tell the truth.
Honestly, the story, I couldn't stand him.
Oh,
Oh,
you
Really?
didn't like him?
No, because I felt like he was so cocky because everybody was building this up where, oh, you got to meet him. I can't wait for you to meet my partner
Mhm.
because his partner was the one that interviewed me at the time.
Okay.
He was away at Hurricane
Partner
Katrina.
meaning like my co-worker,
Yes.
not like a
Yeah,
partner.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, his coworker. But she was like, you need to meet him and he'll like you. And, because after reading my resume, she was like, you do really well with collections. And I was like, okay. And everybody was like, have y'all met Jermaine yet? Have you met Jermaine? I'm like, who is this Jermaine? So when he came in with the glasses in the corporate setting, just kept coming, the way he looked at me, he took his glasses. I don't know if they were talking behind closed, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we have a new hire or whatnot. So yeah, he walked in, he took his glasses down and was like, and I'm like,
And he thought he got
Yeah.
swag too,
Nah,
right?
Yeah.
He probably checked you out.
yep. And that's how we
Yeah.
met. And then we did a coaching session where he would have to listen into my calls and
Mhm.
was looking at all the pictures and started asking a little bit about my background and what I do. And
Mhm.
and then you want the full story.
You can give me the short and give me the short
Yeah,
and
'cause you
the
going
remix.
too
Give me the
hard.
remix of it.
So then we became business partners because he saw my drive. It was like, you know what? I really feel like you could be a good asset within the company, J-Work Limited, because you do a lot of research and you're good at problem solving.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, well, I was 22, 23 at the time.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, well, let's do it. And he was like, try to sell these shirts for me. It was like 2 shirts. And I was like, I love a challenge. So I'm like, I sold all like 15 shirts and like within a
Yeah.
week. And I think that's how we were friends and we became
Yeah, more.
more than that after.
I'm gonna give you the real story.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
Give us
I'll
a,
give you a real
Well,
story.
she's going to fact check.
Yep.
So basically, I had just got done with my tour in Iraq. I just came home, had a good job at the time that was kind of let me go as I wanted to. And I was on my 2-week, the thing we do for the military where you leave for the 2 weeks. So I came back, new hires come in. It's a flow of new hires that come in. So normally we hire people. And it was like, oh man, we hired a couple people, boom, 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 boom. So my partner, who was my coworker, they was kind of blowing out, oh, we got these new people on the team. They hungry, they did it. Because I became, when I came home from Iraq, I became assistant, they used to call it like assistant vice president really fast at this company. Because I came on the floor, I was killing them, making money. And they couldn't understand like, Dad, this dude, I ain't really never done collections, but I was money hungry. Just
Right.
driven, boom, 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 boom,
Right.
boom, boom. And the other guys that was at charge of us, they was all veterans. So like when I left, they was like, oh man, we came home with like $5,000 in the bank. I was like, $5,000, like, and at the time they was like, that's all we came home with. So my job was to double that. So when I came home, I didn't have to go back to work for like 90 days, but I was just bored because it was like, man, dang, everyone's kind of doing the same thing. I've been gone for 18 months. Everybody's still working the same job, still mad about their bills, still just mad about life. So I was like, man, let me go back to work because it was boring. No one to hoot with, just nobody.
Right.
So I go back to work. Then it calls, oh, you want to go for a 2-week leave? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go because it's more money, right? Come back, we got new hires, and I saw her. And I was like, oh, okay, Asian lady.
Asian.
You're right.
Asian. That's what I said, Asian lady, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, so we talking to each new hire, and everybody's like, oh, have you seen Mary? Have you seen Mary? And I'm like, oh, she's on your team, your own team. And then she caught my eye as just someone that was on our team that was young, hungry, whatever the case is, and it grew over time. I just saw she had lost her dad. And when you first come home from like Iraq and stuff, and I did not think I had swag. I had swag. So I wasn't trying to
He
just
thought
be.
he had
I
swag.
was not trying to be with one person.
Right.
I was actually I was running the streets. I was doing what, I got a business, I got 2 cars, I got a house. I'm 24 years old.
Right.
And no one telling me what to do. My dad and mom kind of like looked at it like, you the one, you win it. You done came home, you figured it out. So me and her, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start this company. She was driven. Her best friend Brandy was driven. We all came together and they started just doing tasks that like over and beyond. Like I think it was more than 15 shirts. I think you saw like 25 shirts.
Yeah, it just kept going. Yeah.
And then
Y'all
her
big.
and Brandy
Yeah.
was like killing them because people would come in town, these celebrities and stuff would come in town and be like, I might not have the mindset to talk to no dude. Like, I'm just being honest. But her and Brandy did. And
Right.
people told me in business, it's like, people like talking to pretty people. They told me straight up, like, you'll get more than, with them than you will just you having a PTSD attitude or being in a bad moment.
Right.
Or, so we got through a lot of doors that I think we would have never got through. And I saw that. And my grandma, rest her soul, she told me, she was like, you're going to end up marrying either Mary or Brandy because of how driven they were for the business. So, and I was already, me and Mary would start hanging out, going to movies. We was doing all types of crazy stuff. And then it just became real. Like, man, like I need somebody that can help build this empire.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to see it from, because I'm telling you, I've been with all different type of people, right? And I saw the ins and outs. I saw who wasn't driven. I saw who wasn't trying to push me.
Right.
Oh, I don't want you doing that. That's going to take you to the next level. And they ain't want that for real. She was more like, oh, I'm like, I ain't trying to really work when I'm 50. Bet.
Right.
I'm trying to go here. I might want to move here. I ain't trying to, like, I used to tell her, I was like, why people go out and people go drinking on the weekend and they ain't got no money for real? Like, I used to be like on that at a young age. So she's hearing that from me and I'm older than her. She's like, what you mean they celebrate? I'm saying, celebrating what? Like, what's to celebrate? This is straight from Iraq. I was like, Muggs is still doing the same thing they was doing
When you
18
left.
months. So
Right.
it's like, to me, I'm ahead.
Right.
I came home with money. I came home with a drive. I was like, okay, let me put this money in the stock market. People look at me, oh, you buying a house, that's a bad investment. She was looking like that. She used to say to her sister, I'm going out with this grown man because he about his business.
Right. Right.
So that's what it was. It was like I attracted to her because she was driven. And I saw that when she lost her dad, she's the middle, she got an older sister, older brother, younger sister, younger brother, but her dad appointed her to lead the family. And I was like, why would he do that? Like in my head, I'm like, why would he, like, you're not the oldest, you're not the young, like, why would
But
he make
she was
you?
driven.
She was driven, child.
Right.
He knew that she
Right.
can carry on the legacy. And
Right.
now when you see how we are now, it's like, she got her nail shop. She got, like, I look at everything. I'm like, Dad, God picked you for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was still doing my thing, but for some reason God was like, you need to make sure that you stay in tune with her.
Mm-hmm. And then, like you
she's
said,
the one.
and like you said,
Flat out.
you touched on God, and then y'all were talking about faith and fitness.
Yep.
and
Faith, family, fitness, freedom.
Okay.
It's the 4 F's.
So break that down for us.
Yep.
So I used to always say, it's about faith, which is walking with God, believing in God, no matter what walk of life you go through. Because in Iraq, I learned that the people that taught me about money wasn't Black.
Mm-hmm.
It was white dudes saying, young white dude saying, yo, I'm saving $150 per month for my kid. I'm like, you don't got a kid yet. They're like, yeah, but that's what my family taught me, to save $150 per month for my unborn child. So when my child is born, these dudes is 22, 23 doing that. I'm like, we
Ahead
behind
of
the
game.
ball.
Yeah, we big
We
time.
like, so learning about what real family is, which we call now our people, like who's your people?
Yeah.
Everybody ain't for you. Like I tell you,
Mhm.
everybody ain't for us.
Mhm.
Could be your own flesh and blood. They don't be happy about what you really doing. And some of them happy about what you really going through.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by, faith, trusting the right people, believing in the right people. I read the Bible every morning. I pray every day at 11:02. And that sets the tone for my family as head of household. So faith is believing in God, family, picking the right people to be involved in your life, no matter what their walk is.
Mhm.
Long as they're your people, you can tell. They
Right.
check on you differently. They care about you differently. No matter if you angry, mad, or sad, they still gonna be there for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? Faith, family, fitness.
Fitness.
You already know. That's being in the gym. I wish coming home from Iraq that someone told me, because I never took the medicine. I never took everything they told me to take. I wish somebody said, man, get in the gym and be in there 3-4 days a week. As a veteran with PTSD, that's what the narrative needs to be pushed, to be in the gym, because it releases so much tension and stress that it just pushes you into a different mindset. And when
Mhm.
you see other people getting after it to change their body, you see somebody from month 1 to month 12, you like, man, they look different
Right.
mentally and physically. And then the last thing is freedom. I used to say financial freedom until I realized a long time ago that our ancestors, slaves, never asked for financial freedom. They asked for freedom. Freedom to read, freedom to love who they want,
Yeah.
freedom to trust, freedom to own houses, freedom to own land. Freedom means freedom. It ain't financial. Like, we need to stop. Like, the money don't really matter.
Right.
Once you get over that the money does not matter, it comes, trust me.
Mhm.
It comes in buttloads. So if everything is about money, we kind of get stuck on the number. That's why I think rappers are always put in the forefront of get the chain, get the women, get this, get the cars, but most of them be broke.
Right.
It's about freedom. Our ancestors wanted freedom.
To do what you want to
Yeah.
do.
Do what you want to do
Right.
at any time. If I want to read, that's the freedom to do it. If I
Right.
want to go to school, if I want to speak freely, I want to be able to do that, not put chains on who I am. And I think we do that by saying we need financial freedom.
And they look at us like we're crazy when we're seeking that freedom.
Correct.
As a man, that's what I'm constantly seeking, is that freedom. That
The
freedom is going to bring me that peace. And that's what I'm
Yes.
constantly
Yes.
searching for.
Yeah.
And you know,
I got to be
Freedom to be
around
you.
people.
Yeah.
Correct.
To be me.
I got to be around our people to get that freedom, and I'm realizing that.
mhm.
Like, it don't work with everybody. You can't.
Right.
You could be like, man, freedom is right there, and people gonna go the other way. Like they said, Harriet Tubman didn't have the gun for. She ain't have it for the slave catchers. She had it for the people that she was trying to get free. They was mentally in chains.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And you see it now.
I
Like I said, once I came back from the deployment, the things that we do in the military, we're doing here. And I'm just looking at people like, am I crazy or you crazy?
Yeah.
I'm like, am I really crazy or you?
I believe it's a lot of both. I'm
Mhm.
crazy, but to the
Right.
point where I'm trying to get free.
Mm-hmm.
And you can call me whatever you want, but I'm the only one out of my friend groups that are retired,
Yeah.
retired at 38. Everything that's going on with our family, we still growing, we still pushing forward. And that's why we decided to do this, because a lot of people look to what we do, and I don't even want to be on that, but they do. They tell us. They're in my DMs like, man, I can't imagine what you're going through, and you still running workouts, giving people free information on the stock market. You still trying to help empower people, when I really could be in a shell and be like, I'm just trying to get to where we are good and be out of here.
Right.
I ain't telling no more information. I'm done, because they do look at you like you crazy, but
Mhm.
that's a part of it.
But that's your gift, and that's what God instructed you to do.
Yeah,
To
that's
give
what
the
my
information.
best friend say
Yeah,
all the
because
time.
like I get to that point where I get frustrated and I'm like, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, but then people don't want to cooperate. They don't want that freedom,
They
you
don't
know,
want
and that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it is.
Or they
Um,
think it's bragging.
Right. Right. Well, and I think you only can control you. You can't. You can disperse information, tools, and strategies out there, but you cannot force anybody to make that change that we know is healthy for all of us, right? But all you can do is focus on dispersing information, giving it out, because each one teach one, right? And then pray that they are open their minds and their hearts to receive that information, so then they can learn it and pass it on to the next generation or the next person. But at the end of the day, like I tell him, because he does get frustrated, you can't force people to do what you think they should be doing.
I'm still struggling with that. I'm be honest. I want you.
Pastor T, remember what he said.
Because at the end of the day, like, you want sustainability. When I force you to go work out, I'm only working out because you told me to, but then it's not going to be sustainable because that's not something I want. But if I want it, I am going to put my mind to it, and it's going to be sustainable because I'm consistent at it, because I want it now. So you can't force me. And that's be the hardest thing with him. I'm like, boy, you can't force people.
Because like I said, being in the military, it was the environment. So even if I didn't want to work out, that environment had me working out. And then now mentally, that's what I do now.
Correct. It's just we're programmed to do it. What was you saying about Pastor T-Back?
Our pastor, who's been there since he did our premarital counseling. He did our wedding, coached Daryl for our wedding, and then he did our homegoing for our son. So we go through grief counseling with him once a month. And, just to talk about anything that's going on. And he said, do not put expectations on people. You're only going to be disappointed. So when I got that from him, I was like, oh, okay. So you take people for what they are. Keep giving the information, but if you put expectation, you're going to get upset. You're going to be like, because you're hoping for them to be this person, but it just doesn't happen that way.
No. And you talk about, like, my husband and I, we had to deal with grief. We lost a baby prematurely before we had our first child. And we both grieve differently. And then grief can, when you lose a child, it can either tear your relationship apart or it can bring you together. And we all grieve differently. How did you guys get through that? Because we might have listeners who be like, look, I've just lost a child, or we in a different space and it took us together or brought us together. How did you guys deal with that mentality?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, so it hasn't even been 2 years yet. So we not nowhere near through what I call this steep ass mountain. My mountain is different from her mountain, different from Maximus, Z's, Lance's, Booms. Everyone's dealing with it at their own pace. You know, and at the end of the day, it's the hardest thing I ever had to deal with. Like, Iraq and all that, this trumps all that. Like, that none of what happened to me in Iraq even matters as much as it did compared to my son Jordan not being here. So the way I deal with it is by routine. Like, your success is in your routine. E.T., Dr. Thomas always says it. E.T., hip-hop preacher says, your success is in your routine. So I wake up in the morning. I read the Bible, whatever the Bible verses is for the day, whatever the scripture is for the day, I read. That's how I start my day. I get up, I either train my clients or go to the gym myself to make sure I'm getting out whatever, because I'm angry. I'm different from her. My anger is there still. So it ain't going away. And our pastor said it's okay for me to be angry, but know how to channel it and know how to get it out so it don't make me go left when I'm trying to go right. So go to the gym, do what I got to do. Got a routine with that. Pray every day at 11:02. Be in the stock market, certain amount of hours a day. Make sure my wife is good. Make sure Maximus is good with his jujitsu and him in school. I do basically 90% of his schedule because my wife has her own nail shop that we purchased and took care of. So she's handling that and running that successfully. So my goal is to just stay busy the days they are not there. So that's that Tuesday through that Friday is I'm by myself and I work out Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday is the hardest day for me because it's like a free day, a rest day, which I don't really know how to rest. But I force myself to, like sit there and lay in it almost. Like, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I don't, like, when everything first happened, we kind of was doing some drinking, kind of like, but then I realized I still wake up with the same pain. So I'm going to just go through this. Give it to me raw. I want it all because I love my son that much. I'm not going to hide how I feel.
Right.
So if you get this smoke, you get this smoke. You might have been in the wrong area at the wrong time. So I'm trying to control the narrative and how I do it.
Okay.
That's by listening to ET, putting the right, reading books, like trying to become the best version of myself, the 2.0 version.
Daily.
So basically you cope with your grief by staying busy. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, busy. Like
routine.
like a routine, like a
Like
military schedule.
You have to, or you won't be
because
able
if
to
not,
do.
it's like too much time to be thinking.
Mhm.
And I know that from coming home from Iraq, getting a Purple Heart, having PTSD, I understand that the guys that didn't do well didn't have a routine. They sat where they could hear the noise too much. And that noise could eventually take you out of here.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, coming home from Iraq, I thought that was the hardest thing to come back from, but this ain't that. This is like 1,000 times worse than that could ever be.
Yeah, losing a child is very, very hard. How did you cope with it?
So,
especially as a successful businesswoman, mom, wife, all woman to all things.
Touch on being busy. I want to say that addiction does run in our family. Alcohol. I remember losing my dad. That's all I did. Was drinking back to back. I took 6 months off. So in a way, I knew what not to do. But again, addiction runs in the family. So I'm addicted to working.
It's something.
So I go to work, to the shop, to my salon, and just, if you meet our clients today, they would be like,
know.
yeah, you come in here every day and still with a smile on your face.
Right.
While when it's slow, I'm sitting in the back crying or something, So I remember when everything happened, we looked at each other and we're like, divorce. Like, that's like, we talk about it because he was saying that's like the number one thing when that can happen.
Yeah.
And we're like, dang, I think just being able to talk to one another without trying to assume what the person is saying, but just opening your ears and listening helps. And we've always kind of operated in that way.
Yeah.
After, we got married and everything, I think our pastor kind of helped us with navigating. We always, he say, you need to, before you go to bed at night or whatnot, I love you because, so I think.
So say that again.
That's a nice strategy for couples.
Yes.
Say that again.
I love you because.
Okay.
Even when you mad.
Yeah.
Even when you mad. Even when
Even
you
when you're
sad.
mad. I mean, yeah, we might be, going like having an argument or a bickerment is normal, but it's not like it wouldn't. We just kind of like we know what to do. There's an area in the house. He go in his man cave for a little bit, and then be like, "What you want to eat?" So that's just how it is, and we're gonna talk about it.
Right.
I'm a talker. I want to know how you're feeling, and without just listening. And sometimes, he'll be like, well, this is what I think you're saying. I'm like, no. This is what I'm saying. And this is how I feel.
Yep.
So,
So just to talk about the business aspect, what's the name of the salon?
Press Studio in Westerville.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Uptown.
Okay. So proud business owner.
Yeah.
So how has that been, just juggling?
Oof, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It has been very tough. And it doesn't even look like it. People may be like,
Yeah,
well,
because
you
I
seem
can't
like
tell.
you're doing fine.
Yeah, I can't tell.
But being a business owner in itself is hard. You still got to grind even when you don't want to.
Right.
Even when you're sad, even when you got to handle business. And I think that being busy helps. For me to keep going. And it might be bad in regards to because you're really not talking about it. But I think, coming home, or texting him during the day and just like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, or meeting our pastor once a month.
Yep.
Help for sure.
I always say, everybody handles grief different, and grief never stops.
No.
It's ongoing, and it can come and go in an instant. Like today, we met with a wonderful woman, and we was talking about the infant mortality rate, and boom, I got sad just because, dang, we lost a baby, right? Right before my Kobe bear. It's our rainbow baby. But it's like, even though that was 14 years ago, it still hit me just like it was yesterday, right? And he was like, dang, you remember the date.
Yeah, because I didn't even remember the date.
I do remember the date. I remember what took place in that whole day, right? But I always tell people, grief can never be wrong in how you handle grief.
Agreed.
Because everybody goes through their seasons, and that process totally different.
Yep.
And nobody can tell me you being busy every day is okay. Like you have to be able to deal with it the best that you know how, because at the end of the day, you're a mom and you're a wife, and they need
and
you.
she's a grandmother.
Right?
Yeah,
grandma. Right? And they need you, right?
They look good and good to be some
Right.
grandparents.
I ain't ready for that yet to be a GG.
I'm ready.
But
You're gonna be a grandma. You ain't gonna be no
I'll be a
GG.
GG.
What they call y'all?
Mimi
See?
and Baba.
See?
Mimi, Baba.
High five, boom.
Yeah,
See?
y'all
Yeah.
be grandpa and grandma.
Yeah.
Y'all don't like that name.
To speak a little bit more on what she was saying, like we also set up trips and things like that
Yeah.
to make sure we can get away and decompress. I think that's very important
As
for
a
us to be
couple or as a family? Or both?
sometimes a family. In February around Jordy's birthday, we went to Disney. Max is always going somewhere with us, and then we take our couples trip with our people every year just to get away 5-6 days, whatever the days are, just to kind of decompress and relax, cry if she wants to on the beach. Me, every time we go somewhere that has a beach, I'm like, I gotta be down there praying the first day at 11:02, so I feel connected. I could like dial my son directly when I'm in real ocean water, not Miami. Not like I gotta go somewhere where they don't care about the internet, they don't care about the money, like where it's more peaceful. And I swear, when you get in that water and you get to sit there and just peaceful, you can hear things.
Because that's even when I was deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq, but particularly Iraq, I had a more connection with God. Like I would get up in the sun, the desert, and I was really connected. Like I could hear God's voice.
Yeah, like I feel like here it's too noisy, it's too much going on, it's too busy. But that's why we make sure we set up things. Our pastor always tells us, he said, y'all situation is a little bit different. He's like, y'all situation is financially, you guys are good. So he got people that have lost a child that finances ain't good. So they end up looking at each other and they end up going this way.
Right.
So I made sure when he told me that, he was like, I need you to do this. You need to sit down and be ready for when it's time. When you refire, it's going to be amazing. You're going to come up with something even better than what you've done already. He's told Mary, I just need you to be supportive and be there and keep doing what you're doing. But you guys got to set up dates. He's like, I want to see dates. When are y'all getting out of town?
Yeah.
You know how people plan trips. Oh, we go in and then they never do it. Nah, he's like, when y'all leaving again? We like, oh, we leave November 18th.
The
How long y'all
accountability
gone?
piece.
Yeah, like where y'all, how long y'all gone? A week. When y'all leave after that? Like he wants to know that because that's a big part of healing.
Yes.
Grieving and healing together. Like you can't just grieve and be so busy because you so busy, it's going to end up what happened one day, you ain't busy when you're supposed to be busy.
Right.
And
It's
boom.
gonna eat you up.
You
It's going to eat you
crash.
alive. That's why I
You're gonna
said
explode.
Wednesdays is hard for me. It's like, I be like dreading like not going to the gym. I'm like, but then I'll be like, let me pick up these books. Let me start reading about other people that was incarcerated. How did they get through being in the hole 6, 7, 8 months? It ain't the same, but it's the same.
Right.
I'm putting myself in a hole. So why not understand what we need to get forward? That's what I think a lot of people fail to do. They don't understand what they need to move forward.
I loved how you like one of the things that me and James preach is that date time and that time to get away. James is James didn't grow up where he traveled a lot.
Yeah.
I traveled everywhere. I was blessed to be, you know, with sports and things like my dad, we went everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So traveling is very important, and exposing my kids to the world is very important to me. But it's also important just me and him.
Yes.
And the time, I think our best trips have been just me and him, and that is by you guys being in the military. Whew.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the vets.
Yep.
But it's not always easy to live with y'all either, right?
Yep. Yep.
Y'all have y'all quirks.
Yeah.
And I will say
we
the
got
best,
our quirks. Y'all
yeah,
got y'all quirks.
whatever,
Yeah, right.
whatever. But the best time that I've seen that he ever relaxed
Oh, yes.
Yep. It's
is
big.
when it was just me and him away from everything. No kids, no worry about businesses, no financials,
Yep.
anything.
Yep.
I was like, wow, you really have the ability to do it. I just need to see it more. But
Yeah.
these trips matter because now you get to enjoy life without worrying about everything else, and you are actually at peace. One time, he don't take naps.
No,
He can't sleep. He got to be moving 24/7. And that one time, okay, I sleep.
Yeah.
I'll take a
Me
nap in a
too.
heartbeat.
She do too.
I'll
She do
take
too.
a-
She do too.
And I'll be at the pool.
Yeah.
I'm like, babe, I'm down at the pool. I'm about to lay and just getting the sun, my
Yeah.
glasses on to go to sleep. One time I turned around and he actually,
I was out.
he was knocked out. And I was like,
being at
wow.
peace.
And I
Yeah, I
didn't
was like,
wake him because that is unusual for
Yeah.
him. Usually he'll watch me sleep and go get drinks or go get something to eat.
Yeah.
He got to be moving in the
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah.
And I'm...
Yeah.
But I was like, this what you need more often, babe.
Yeah. Right.
Just so I always suggest couples, you need trips for the family, but
Yep.
you also need trips
For each other.
for each other
Correct.
to get back to being that
Reconnect.
oneness and peace.
Yeah.
And then not just that, have dates on a regular basis when
Do
you
that all
still
the
having a
time.
busy
Yes.
life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
And just
that
having
time.
fun,
Yeah,
laughing.
we do that all the time. That's
Like once we put him to bed, we
Yeah.
watch our shows together.
Yeah.
Like, hey, babe, we about to watch
And
this
dates
show.
don't have to cost a
Yeah.
lot. You don't have to go nowhere,
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
yeah. Cook a meal and just
Yep.
sit back and
be in the market together. We
Yeah.
do a lot of stuff together where I think it's important for what we're growing through, not going through, growing through, that we are one as much as possible. Like one thing I did learn, like she is her. What makes her happy and what's gonna make her tick ain't gonna be the same for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like my wife works out, but she not like me, and I don't want her to be like me. I don't want her to be like me.
7
I
days
mean,
a week, man.
she be like, she know she
I'm
gonna do her
3.
little time when she do it,
Yeah.
and I'm thankful when she do it. I'm like, hey, cool, we good money. But me, it's like I gotta be working out, I gotta be moving, because I got my sons looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
They looking to see that how's dad handling it. Especially like Lance, our relationship is so different now since everything happened with Joris. Like I think Lance is trying to prove a point that he can do it on his own, and I've been there. Because when I went to Iraq, I wasn't calling home to my family. I wasn't crying to my mom and dad. My friends that was with me over there, like Jermaine hasn't called. They were doing all that, but I never did. So I think Lance is trying to prove a point, like, I got it, Dad. I got this. And I'm like, I'm thankful that he's like that, but it still hurts because everybody at home wants him home. They want him to come back home. They want him to be here with us. But I'm like, he's trying to do it his own way,
Yeah.
man.
You can't
He
get in
tried.
the way. You can't
Yeah,
get
and
in
I
the-
can't take away the way he's grieving, no matter if we understand it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Try
that's
to
a big part.
remind him of that too with the kids because
Yeah.
they grieve differently. One might be more vocal than the other. The other one might just not say anything.
Yep.
But for me, seeing him every day, I'm like, I try to put it on a front, but like I got to keep going, push forward so that
Yeah.
he knows. I just don't want him to grow up and be like, my mom was just like sad all day long. She's sad, but she's like, we talk about it versus
Yeah.
like, you know, just sitting in there and robbing him from his childhood, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
We always talk about the kids, like our actions,
Yeah.
how that's going to affect them.
Yep.
Because I know, I mean, growing up it was tough too. So,
Yeah.
and I hate certain things that I witnessed, and I just was like, I can't have the kids going through the same
But y'all
thing.
setting the deck for them and y'all trying to be better. That's
Mhm.
the main thing.
Mhm.
Y'all going to be better. They're
Mhm.
going to be better.
Yep.
Mhm.
So when I like how you touched on how you grew up. How did both y'all cultures come into being who y'all are now? because y'all coming from two different backgrounds, two different experiences, lenses, and different cultures.
Yeah.
How did y'all blend that together?
Well,
What is your
I'm Cambodian.
Okay.
We're very family oriented, very close. Well, at least the way my dad brought us, up with the siblings is like built-in best friends.
Yay.
So I thought it was a little strange to, like, when I met him, it's like, oh, I know my cousins and stuff like that, but they wasn't very close
at all.
And I'm like, okay. So that's how when we met, because I have 2 kids prior. And Jermaine has Lance. And then we were just like trying to, it was like
mix it together.
Mix it like a salad.
Yeah.
So I knew what to like to put the family value in place, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I was missing that.
Yes. And I think that's like creating traditions and stuff like that. But again, now it's all shattered with losing Jordan. So it's like we're trying to find our way again.
Now, is that culturally as far as business as well too in your community? Like y'all running businesses, like the family runs the business, like the difference between African American, like let's say we own a store. Would our family be working in the store? Or
I will say my sister works with me and she has my back 10,000%. Oh yeah, it's almost like a respect thing too. I could ask her to do something. She's just like, or it could be because we work really well together. I'm not sure, but we are very tight. And it, it's just even like clients would ask, how can you work together? You guys never argue. And, we're like, no, I mean, I think understanding the foundation and family is important, so yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's a big difference because so in my family, my dad was if he was the man of like, okay, I made it. I brought my family from Philadelphia out of poverty to come to Columbus, Ohio, and we started making moves and I got a good job. But for some reason, just being honest, like his sisters and stuff didn't really like rock with it. It was almost like we grew up tight knitted until we was like 7. And then everybody kind of went. People moved to Texas, people moved to Germany, people moved here. And like whatever secrets in the family started boiling over. And it's like, Dad, you don't really see your family no more. Like you don't see your cousins no more. No one call you on the holiday. Like all this stuff started boiling up. And it's like, so when I got older, I kind of had a resentment to like, I came home from Iraq, but like no one was really there to be like, oh man, this is set for my mom and dad. My sister's same people that's been there now is there now. So what I loved about her family, it was like, Dad, mom, brother, sister, younger brother, all in one. And I got to see that. So to me, it's like, I didn't want my kids growing up and then being like, oh, well, I ain't messing with you. I ain't messing with this because of this or this. And that's kind of what happens in our Black families. It's like someone be like, oh, it's a secret. You don't know. But then the kids got to kind of like, it kind of ruins the kids' relationship.
We're divided.
Yeah, like my cousins and them start saying weird stuff like, oh yeah, you ain't gonna be the only one that make it. Make it? Like, bro, what? Like
I eat, we all eat,
Like,
right?
yeah.
Like,
But we have to change our mindset.
our mindset is what destroyed. That's why I said whatever happened with my parents and grandparents ain't got nothing to do with me.
Right.
So that's why I said our people, the cousins that get it, they there. We rock it. My cousin Will in the stock market booming right now. Same as me. And all he did was come be around us, listen to a conversation. What y'all watching on TV? Are we watching this because our son is this way? She can't be going to a job if she need to be out of work. I need to be out of work. We got to be able to move. So like the ones that get it. And the ones that don't, I don't care no more.
Right.
Because I done tried when I came on like, yo, oh, you got a BMW. Like, oh, bro, everybody can get a payment. Like, I'll tell you how to, but they be like, it's not even that they want to know how to do it. It's just mad at you doing it. So you be like, and then her family, I never really seen that. So, not the core family.
Right.
Now the outside family, cousins, yeah, it's a little bit different, but we ain't really worried about that.
Right.
But her, they can be mad as I don't know what at each other. It's time to handle mom, they coming together. It's time for Boom's baby shower. They coming together. If it's time Mary opened that shop, her sister figured a way out to get out of her shop, to get out of her where she was working at. To next thing you know, they moved up to Westerville. Next thing you know, she working there. And I'm like, your shop is never going to go wrong because you got support.
Yeah.
You got background. You got, I tried to start, business with my close friends and it all went left because all those friends are all Black guys that grew up in a family that has the same dynamics. Everybody's looking out for themselves. Or, oh man, you think you're doing more. You'd be like, bro, what? I'm not, you mad because I work out too?
The ego.
And that's what me and my wife were talking about. We were talking about, like this social media things try to make it about your sex, males, females, things like that. But we're not talking about the core family. It's about the family. That's what it's about. If we work together, like, we're gonna be successful.
Ubuntu, right?
Yeah. You want your kids, everybody to work together so that they can, when they get older, that's what my wife wants. My wife is about, Thanksgiving, we all at one house, we eat it. And me, it was just me, my dad, and my sister, and my mom. So as we got older, we kind of stopped doing that because I'm in the military, I'm over here. So you miss 2 or 3 Thanksgivings, you ain't really thinking about it like that no more. My wife was on it like, yo, everybody gotta be together Thanksgiving, everybody gotta be together at Christmas. That's what my dad would want. So I'm like, cool, we're gonna do it. So then when we start doing it, Jordy's born, all this, everybody's love and family. That's why I think we're doing so
we were like
decent.
In a bubble.
Because we've been surrounded by love, and the people that don't love, they not around us.
So what you're saying is it was easy for y'all to bring y'all cultures together because she has something that you was yearning for.
Yep.
So it was easy for you to go ahead and just be embedded to change the trajectory of that division in your family, because that's what you want. I feel you.
That's what I want. My mom and dad come over. They over now eating good. My mom and dad be over there talking about something. Hey, I'm glad you did this. Oh yeah. My dad be over there slamming every picture. They in the background slamming. I'm like, so we changed the outlook of our family because it was going where my dad ain't talking to his mom. His mom passed away. He's saying he ain't mad about it, but I know it hurts.
Right.
The only time we come together is at the funeral, right? Like,
we dad and mom, we done took mom and dad traveling with us, grandma traveling with us. Like let's change this thing because it doesn't matter what they think.
Yeah.
It don't matter what they think. It's a matter about what we feel. And after Jordy's, it don't really matter what nobody think.
Yeah.
It's about what we doing and how we prosper so that he, the youngest, he gets the benefits of all of it.
Amen.
That's all that's all I care about.
So we're going to wrap it up, but we appreciate everything. Just give us a shout out about y'all businesses real quick.
One more time. Yep.
I own Press Studio, a nail salon in Uptown Westerville. It's not a huge salon. It's more of a one-on-one feel. We have a team of 5. So it's almost like a doctor's appointment type of feel. So they come in, we have that one-on-one interaction. We're like their therapists as well. So yeah, we're 20 South State Street in Westerville, Ohio. So.
Okay.
She won an award for the best business in Westerville, Uptown Westerville for her first year as well.
Congrats.
And won a grant.
Yes.
During all the stuff that's been going on, still thriving. So
correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm the owner of Sneaker Freaks Expo, the biggest
y'all check
expo.
Those sneakers out. Look at them.
Biggest expo in the Midwest. Got a couple rental properties, and I'm just looking for freedom. That's it. Like it ain't really. That's all I want, and I do the stock market.
Yep.
I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He got his way, I got my way. So,
but y'all winning. Y'all winning. At the end of the day, y'all winning, and that's the blessing. And this, like I said, y'all experience will save some marriages. It's going to save some families. It's going to save some relationships.
Agreed.
Because of y'all testimonial, and we appreciate it.
I appreciate
thank you for having us.
No, thank you for sharing your wonderful stories.
Yeah.
And the tools and tips that you gave more people to help, because our goal is to start breaking some of the generational, I don't like to say curses, but barriers that have been plagued on people, right? And anybody that can get one nugget is better than none.
That's why
right?
I say we're growing through it, not going, because people, I'm going through it. It's like, nah, we growing through that.
Yeah, I like that.
Growing through that, I appreciate y'all having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We good.